Hi everyone, welcome back to Just with Dara. First of all, Happy New Year. It's 2022. I'm really excited for this year because I feel like a lot of things are going to be happening and actually that's not true. I don't think that a lot of things are going to be happening. I don't know why I said that. But I'm excited for this year. Excited to see where this podcast continues to go. And so as you guys can tell by the title, today we're talking about cultural appropriation. And before I actually get into the episode, I did want to say that I hope you guys had a good holiday like these past 2 weeks, and hope you guys are staying safe, with COVID and everything, like the new variants and stuff. I just hope that you guys are staying safe because, it's not a joke. And I'm gonna take this to have a little PSA. Wear a mask, okay? Like, if you're an anti-masker, that's really sad on your part, honestly. Just, wear your mask. And also, get vaccinated. And yes, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm advising you to get the vaccine. Now, this would kind of backfire if, in a few years, there's actually something wrong with it. And then, it's oh my gosh, Dara, me say get the vaccine, and, now, everyone's sick. Well, I don't think that's gonna happen because I believe in science. But, I know I'm kind of rambling here. Wear your mask, get the vaccine. The virus is real. Don't act as if it's not real. And I'm speaking from experience. It's real, okay? Wear a mask. Anyways, just want to say that before I actually get to the episode. That's not really on topic, but I feel like it's important. So that's why I said that. Once again, Happy New Year. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And, So, basically, in this episode, I will be talking about cultural appropriation, like I said before. I actually, in the episode I did on opinions that I feel need sharing, I can't remember if it was the second part or the first part, I actually talked about this, but then I was like, I don't want to get canceled, so I deleted that segment from the episode, and I was like, I'll just wait until I have more confidence or something. So I feel like what I'm saying, I don't necessarily think it's reasons for cancellation, because it's just my opinion, but I'll kind of be sharing in excuse me, my own opinion on things and different things like that. Also I had a question sticker on my Instagram story, I think 2 months ago or so, and it was basically asking my viewers or whatever, if they feel the term is overused, or if it's used in the right way or whatever, and why or why not that they feel if it's overused or not. And so I'll also be reading those responses. So I'll start by reading those responses, and I'll kind of just go into the episode from there. And I got permission from everyone who shared a response to make sure that they're okay with it, with me sharing their response. So, I feel like I keep saying but I'm gonna say again. Let's get into the episode. Okay, so before I actually start, I just want to apologize in advance in case you hear any loud booms. Those are fireworks because I'm recording this on Friday night. So, I apologize for that if you're hearing any of those. I'm going to try my best to where it doesn't really show in the audio, but just in case you do hear it, I apologize. But, there's one. Okay, there's just one right now. But, I'll just try to keep talking over, and I won't pause so that there's not too many interruptions or whatever, but I do apologize for that. Okay, so starting with the first one, and by first one I mean the first response that I got for for asking the question of, do you think the term cultural appropriation is overused or not? And also all of these will stay anonymous, of course, but first I'll go ahead and say my own opinion. I won't exactly explain thoroughly. I'll explain throughout me reading these, but I'll go ahead and start by what I think on the question of if it's overused or not. I definitely think it's overused, 100%. It's not used in the right context a lot of times. People just I think a lot of times people throw around the word in a sense. I also think that it can be confused with cultural appreciation. Almost said that wrong. But anyways, I think it can also be confused with cultural appreciation as well. And so that's my opinion on it. So first, I'll read the first response. Excuse me. This person said, I think it isn't too many times. We let appropriation slide with the comment, society is soft. So with this, I definitely see where this person's coming from, and I also agree, because sometimes people blatantly and very obviously also I want to say that when I'm saying that's overused, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It definitely exists. I'm just saying that I feel the term is overused. So basically a lot of people blatantly and very obviously will mock another person's culture and cover it up with things like society's soft, like the person said in this response. But that's just like pure ignorance, honestly. And then a lot of other times, like people jump too quickly to call out something as cultural appropriation, like I was saying. So with examples like that, I'll use like examples from my own culture so that I don't like offend anyone. But so like I know for me, like if so the proper attire that's used in I I'm gonna say Yoruba culture, which is the tribe I'm from in Nigeria, but I think it's also some other tribes use it as well and call it the same thing. I'm pretty sure. But anyways, so the proper like attire or whatever for like big events like parties and weddings and things like that is called ashoebi, which is just like the type of clothes that it is. And so sometimes when a person who's not Nigerian will be wearing those clothes or whatever, people like are quick to say like, "Oh, why are they wearing that? Like, they're not Nigerian or whatever." But also at other times, though, a lot of Nigerians do actually embrace it though, which I think is really nice and beautiful. But that person wearing the outfit, I don't think you can say, "Oh, they're not allowed to wear this outfit," because like I just don't think that you have the right to say that, and I don't think we have the right to say that because like it's not like you. I don't know how to explain it, but like unless the person is like wearing it and being like, oh, like and like just like being rude about your culture, being rude about the outfit, then obviously that's wrong. But if they're just wearing it because they genuinely like it, I don't see a problem with that. Like other times when it's clearly like they're mocking it, it's like when people dress up as like Native Americans for Halloween. You can't dress up as another culture for Halloween. Like that's definitely cultural appropriation. Like I'm not gonna disagree with that. That's definitely cultural appropriation. But there's a big difference between that and someone wearing an outfit because they just again genuinely like it. Like I know that like also sometimes like at those different parties or weddings, I think when it's specifically at a party or a wedding that's a Nigerian party or wedding, no one really says anything like, oh, why are they wearing that if they're not from that culture? Because like everyone's wearing it. Like obviously you're gonna wear that if you're going to that type of party or whatever. But I guess maybe like when other people when they wear it like and like just because I guess people have a problem with that, which I would say like it's kind of weird I guess if you're wearing that and you're not like going to a function or event that's a Nigerian function or event. But at the same time, if they just like it, then they like it. And I think that honestly, I feel like that goes with a lot of different cultures. But then again, I don't want to say that because like I know that I'm not exactly like well educated on like a whole bunch of other cultures to say like, oh, it's okay, because maybe it's really not, and maybe there's like more of a significant meaning behind that maybe outfit or whatever it may be, and it could actually be really offensive if someone just wears it just because or just because they feel like it. But so I that's why I'm saying that like I kind of just want to like speak from what I know personally, and I don't want to like offend anyone by talking about other cultures that I'm not that educated on. But yeah, so that's like why. That's just kind of like my 2 cents on what this person said. But I'll move on to the next response now, which is culture that's not theirs. They automatically use the term, and that's not how it works. So that response is a bit vague because I stupidly did not screenshot like both responses, so I kind of lost the other half. But basically, what this person was saying, if I remember correctly, was that like whenever people like see another culture and like someone's doing something from that culture and it's not their own, then like people just quickly jump to using the phrase or term whatever cultural appropriation, and they're basically saying that that's not how that works. Like you can't just immediately jump and say that. And so basically I agree because I mean, it's overused like all the time. I feel like in today's society, like no one can really try to show their appreciation for another culture when it's like actually just appreciation without like someone automatically jumping and saying like, oh, like you're appropriating it, but when they're really just trying to show their appreciation for it. And so really like there's a huge difference because I mean like appropriation is strictly when a person is mocking another culture or displaying something from that culture in a disrespectful or sensitive manner. So that's like I said, like dressing up, like quote dressing up as a Native American for Halloween. That's so dumb because you don't know what the Native American people have had to go through and what they've had to struggle through, and you just saying, "Oh, I'm a Native American for this one night," because like, yeah, I think it looks cool. Like, that's stupid, and that's definitely mocking. That's incredibly insensitive, incredibly ignorant. So that's definitely cultural appropriation. And then even with dressing up as like any culture for anything, and even like, okay, so this just came to mind, but like I obviously didn't realize it when I was watching it when I was younger, but then recently, by recently I mean like a year ago, but I was watching or rewatching whatever, That's So Raven, and in this episode I believe it was when Raven was trying to become, I want to say, class president or something relating to politics within the school. And so, to help her get voters, Chelsea, her best friend or whatever, was going around and like trying to get to like every group, like the nerds, the jocks, whatever. Except I don't know where the jocks in it. I don't know, but something like that, like different groups, like the nerds, things like that. So there's like this group of like Jamaicans or whatever, and so what Chelsea did was she quote dressed up as a Jamaican and had the Jamaican accent to like be like, oh yeah, vote for Raven or whatever. That's cultural appropriation, and yeah. But then again, that was like 2004 Disney, 2002 whatever, 2003. And so I guess like no one really like thought to call it out then, but like that's not okay because, and like I think I was watching with my brother and we just looked at each other, we were like, wait, why is this okay? And I'm confused because yeah, that's not okay. Like for her to like obviously not like what was I gonna say, scratch that, but like for the character or whatever to be like, oh, like we're just gonna like go and act like these people by me dressing up in like a Rasta hat and like having dreads or whatever and be like, yeah, I'm Jamaican, and like that, no, that's not okay. I don't really understand what that was, but yeah, that would be an example of cultural appropriation. That's mocking or just being ignorant in general. Excuse me. And then whereas appreciation is simply just showing love for another culture, and again trying to appreciate, showing that you like actually think that it's really cool and that you think it's nice, not like you're trying to be offensive or insensitive or anything like that. So personally, I think it's okay for you to show your love for another culture through participating in different aspects of that culture, such as cooking different foods or wearing various clothing from that culture. But I definitely don't think it's okay to mock it or to be insensitive and like think, oh, like what I'm doing is cool or fun or just jokes, because yeah. And then also, if someone calls you out on it and they're like, oh, that actually is offensive, you definitely should not be like, oh my gosh, it's just jokes or whatever, because that's gaslighting, and that's just ignorant and again insensitive, and it just doesn't make that much sense. Because like if it was your own culture, if you have been oppressed in this way or something like that, and then someone just comes in and starts like quote acting like your culture or whatever, and they don't really get the struggles that you've been through or that your people have been through, you definitely would not be okay with that. So I think you should just kind of keep that in mind before you do anything that's relating to another culture or anything like that, because again, it can definitely come off as offensive and sensitive, and you don't want to ever do that. So yeah. um the next response was, people really don't even know the definition, and people are trying to turn it into quote appreciation. So here I think that there are definitely like some people who try to label their clear appropriation as appreciation. They'll be like, oh no, I'm just like appreciating it or whatever, which a lot of people try to do with like dressing up, again quote dressing up as other cultures for Halloween and stuff. That's never appreciation. You can't do that. That's always appropriation. I don't care what it is or when it is. Like that's never gonna be okay. But and then yeah, like doing that just for fun, that's clearly like, and I mean like dressing up as another culture for Halloween, that's clearly appropriation, because another culture's attire that they may have to wear like due to underlying reasons is not cause for you to dress up as, because it can easily take away from the struggles that they've had to fight through, which is what I was saying earlier. So yeah, like you doing that, it just takes away from everything that like they've been through and things like that, and you don't ever want to do that, because again, that can easily offend someone, and you just don't want to do that. But so the next response that I got was, this person thinks that it's not overused. They said it's not overused. People just have easier access to see it happening, so it's being heard more often, which leads people to think it's a buzzword and not a serious issue. So I also see where this person is coming from, and they said people begin to use terms as a buzzword, like this person said, and use it in situations where it's not even relevant. Like, so I see how that comes into play here. Because like this person said, it's a serious issue, but I also think that serious issues can lead people to using the term when there's no cause for using it, which can be overusing the word in a sense. So I I see how it can be a buzzword. I think that a lot of times people start overusing like a term or phrase as a buzzword, like this person says, which I'm gonna say it like this is like a minor thing, and I feel like I kind of want to do an episode on this, but like later in the future once I like educate myself more on it. Honestly, I think that TikTok plays a role in that. Like a lot with like younger people and stuff. Like they'll start like they'll introduce a word and then like people will just start using it all the time as like, oh yeah, I'm using that word, but it's like they don't even really know what it means. Like even gaslighting is a buzzword, honestly. Gatekeeping, like all of that, it's a buzzword. But like I feel like I'm not saying don't use it, just like use it in the right context and actually make it like have it to where it makes sense. Like don't just use it to use it, which is what I feel like happens with cultural appropriation. Like people just use it to use it. But I also see what this person was saying with how people just have like easier access to see it's happening, so it's being heard more, which I understand that. I guess it could possibly be true that it's always been used quote a lot or whatever. It's just that people now see it happening more, not necessarily that the word is being used more or that the action is happening more or anything like that. So I see how that can be possible, but I still kind of think that it's being overused. But I also understand where this person is coming from. And so the next thing that someone said was, some people probably don't quite understand what they mean when they say it. So I agree with this. I do think that people, like I was saying earlier, I think that people just throw the word around without truly knowing what it means. Um, like I think that happens with a lot of words, anyways. Like once someone starts hearing, like a word, a whole bunch or something, like they're just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep using this word so I sound like cool or cultured or whatever. But it's like no, not you don't really sound like that. You just kind of sound stupid because you don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I think that happens a lot, and that kind of goes back to the whole buzzword thing. But yeah, so another response was, I feel like the term has scared people from learning or embracing other people's cultures. Okay, so I completely agree with this. People don't want to like again go back to like the whole canceling thing. Like they don't want to get quote canceled, which also I'm definitely probably going to be doing an episode on like cancel culture. But again, distant future. Not distant. It's probably going to be in season 4, but like later in the season, maybe earlier. I don't know yet. But I also have to educate myself more about that first before I do an episode on that. But I definitely want to talk about that. So so a lot of times like people don't want to get canceled or whatever, so they just completely distance themselves from any other culture that's not their own for fear of getting ridiculed. And I mean, like I think it's really important to embrace other cultures apart from your own, but like this person said, the overuse of the term has made some people scared to do so. So, speaking from experience and speaking personally, the term culture appropriation has definitely made me scared to like not necessarily look at, but like maybe do things. Maybe that's the word. I don't know. Do things from like other people's cultures or whatever, because I don't want someone to be like, oh my gosh, that's cultural appropriation, whatever. Like even clothes I buy now, like I have to like make sure, because I'm like I don't want someone to say something and I'm just like, okay, because well, this person said it as a joke, but like I wore this shirt once and I don't want to like fully describe it because I plan on wearing the shirt again, so I'm not gonna fully describe it. But like when I wore the shirt, I kind of thought about it in my head. I was like, is this cultural appropriation? Then I was like, no, it can't be. I'm sure it's fine. And then like when I went to school, one of my friends, she was like, wait, cultural appropriation? But like she was joking. But like I was kind of like, well, I kind of thought about it, but then I was like, no, I don't think it can be. But yeah. So I know that it's definitely made me kind of scared because I'm kind of like, I don't want anyone to like start saying like I'm being insensitive or anything like that, which I definitely don't ever want to be insensitive. And also, that's not to say that like I can't take like correction or whatever. Like if I'm actually doing something and like it's actually offensive to someone, if it ever is actually offensive to someone, truthfully I just didn't realize. But I would definitely want the person to tell me so that like I know and so that I don't do it again, because a lot of times it could come with like just a misunderstanding and the person just truthfully didn't realize. So if that was to ever happen, I would definitely want the person to tell me. But at the same time, which I'll talk about more in that future episode, obviously, but like cancel culture is just so prevalent now that like any small little thing you do, it's like, oh my gosh, like you're done, you're finished, whatever. So that's kind of why I excuse me, that's kind of why I'm like hesitant to like partake in things that's not from like my own culture or anything like that. So yeah. And then the next response is uh I think people genuinely don't get how offensive it is, so they say that it's not overused. But actually, I think it's both yes and no. King of Gray, like both answers make sense. So I can see how both answers make sense, like yes or no on whether or not cultural appropriation, the term is overused. But I think that there are good arguments for both sides. Like some people don't understand the difference between mocking a culture and appreciating it, so it's better for them to just not participate in anything relating to that culture so that they don't risk offending anyone. On the other hand, many people do understand the difference, but sometimes they can't show their appreciation due to fear of alienation. I can't speak. Alienation. Excuse me. But yeah. So like I said, I think that there are good arguments to both sides. So I agree with what this person said. Um, it definitely, like I said, makes sense for there to be like for someone to say yes or no. Like I feel like it can like I'm kind of rambling here. Well, not rambling. I'm not really talking, but like because I'm trying to find the right words. But excuse me, it makes sense for someone to think yes or no on this because, like I said, there are good arguments for both sides. Like once again, there are a lot of people who are blatantly and very obviously mocking a culture, and sometimes it gets slid under the rug. Excuse me, I really cannot speak. I'm sorry, slid under the rug, and then other times people are truly just trying to appreciate it, but they get quote canceled for that or whatever. So the last response is when it's used too much, it's usually used improperly or by people with a white savior complex. So I agree. I think a lot of times people use it in the wrong context. I've heard people like use the term in a way that's not even close to the actual definition. Um, and by that I mean like someone could be I can't think of an example. I'm sorry. But like if someone's like okay, what about this? So like I feel like if someone cooks something from like another culture and they just genuinely like this food, like they just like the food so they learn to cook it, I feel like then someone will like be really quick to be like, oh, you're mocking the culture, or you're offending it, or you're this, and that. Which honestly, depending on the culture, like I guess it can actually come across as offensive. But okay, then once again, I'm going to speak personally so that I don't accidentally say anything like the wrong thing or whatever. But for myself, I know that like if someone was to be cooking Nigerian food or like Yoruba food, I would be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like that's actually amazing. Like I don't think that I would find that offensive in any way. I would actually be like, that's like I said, amazing. That's really cool. But I think I think like people are also kind of like quick to just not want anyone who's not from that culture to be a part of anything from their culture or do anything from their culture or say anything about their culture, anything like that. And obviously that comes with like years of like come with years of like struggles and different things like that. So I obviously get where that person is coming from if they just really don't want anyone else to um try to like be a part of their culture, especially with like white people with how they would try to like make people shy away from their own cultures and stuff like that. And then a lot of times white people now are trying to be a part of that culture, and it's like that doesn't make any sense. Like why are you switching up? But so I get it. Like I truly do. It's just that at the same time I feel like people are really quick to jump and say that something is cultural appropriation when it's not really. So I think it's important to embrace other cultures and love other cultures and try to like learn about new things like minus your own stuff. I mean, I know for me like I love learning about other cultures. Like I literally spend my free time watching documentaries on other cultures um when I could like be doing something else. But yeah, so I think that like it's again important to like embrace other cultures and not like feel like you have to like I feel like you can't embrace it because you're afraid of like getting canceled or whatever. And I know that I just said that I feel the same way, so I kind of have to work on that for myself as well. But basically, in conclusion, I feel like it's just really important and like yeah, important. I can't find another word. Sorry, important to embrace other cultures and know that you can appreciate a culture without feeling like you're appropriating it. There's a strong difference, and if you don't understand the difference, I definitely think it's okay and important to like acknowledge that and educate yourself on it so that you don't mistakenly like offend anyone or that you're being insensitive, being ignorant, anything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed like reading people's responses on it and stuff and seeing different opinions. That was definitely interesting. I think I'm gonna try to keep doing that for the future so that I can like see what you guys think about it. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Happy New Year once again. I hope that this New Year brings a lot of great things for you and cool things for you. And I hope that, like, you're just able to make your dreams. That sounds so cliche. But yeah, whatever you want to happen this New Year, I hope that it happens for you. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next Saturday for the ninth episode. We're very close to the season finale, which is really crazy. But yeah, so excited for that. Also remember that, in April, a year of Just with Dara is coming up very soon. I also can't believe that. It's crazy how time has flight. I feel like it was just yesterday that I was sitting in my room, like learning how to start a podcast and stuff. But yeah, really excited for that. Really excited for where this year will take us. And I know that different things will be happening. So I appreciate you guys joining me on this journey. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And that's the gist. Happy New Year. Bye.